So before I get started, I just want to say I love and appreciate my people who are out there and they know, what time it is. And they're not here to really down black people. They're here for any of the happy moments that we have, and they come respectfully, and they love and enjoy, whenever it is that black people, are winning or trying to come together, or at least trying to change the narrative or the negative imagery that has been, portrayed, about us for so long. And the reason I'm going to start off with these comments is because it's going to make more sense once you go through the video and you start to see the other comments that are in contrast to the ones that you see here.
Much love and appreciation, family. So, for all of the brand new men's and women's shirts that you see and the limited edition sneakers that you see here, please visit the comment and or the description below the video. Thank you. There's a fifth dimension beyond which is known to black men. It's a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It's the middle ground between black and white, between racist and bigots. It lies between the pit of white man's fears and the summit to his knowledge. This is a dimension of imagination. It's an area in which we call the Seiji zone.
All right, so what you're able to see in front of you is something that I've covered before about the black community, where the black community is the only community out here where it's backwards, right? Where everything negative is positive and where everything positive is negative, right? You see this beautiful image of all of these black men wearing suits. This is something akin to seeing black men, back in the earlier days, right? When you look at the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, and 20s, where, everybody, even if you weren't going anywhere, you were just going outside, you were still dressed, as if you were about to go out there and conduct, business. And that's just the style back then. That's how it was, right? You dressed as if you were about business. Once you put that positive type of energy out there, you're going to receive a lot of positive things. Your imagery to everybody else is going to be transformed because they can't look at you as, such and such and such and such. They have to look at the presentation that you are putting directly in front of them. And maybe let's say like a potential woman might just happen to see like one of these black guys with these suits. He doesn't really have to do much because of his presentation. He already looks like, hey, he's about money, he's about life, he's about more than being in the streets or whatever it is, right? So he could very easily sit up there and talk to a woman with no problem. More women are going to sit up there and look at these guys. And that's not even to mention, if you pay very close attention to the video, some of these guys out here are fathers and they brought their sons out there. And that's a powerful sight for a lot of young guys to see and a lot of young boys to see. Strong black men out here in suits coming together. They're not out here fighting. They're not bickering. They're not out here trying to take, each other's life. They're not out here trying to ruin the community. They're not out here doing anything detrimental. It's nothing but positive vibes, positive energy. People might be, linking up to, do business, or people might be going out there to just have like a big, brunch or whatever it is. All in all, it's a positive type of image. But the scariest thing about this is seeing some of the comments that we're about to run into right now. One person wrote, "Community starts with black people, not just black men," which would be patriarchy, and no thank you on that. And literally, black people do community all the time without suits. I just want us to expect action, not performance, because how many of these have we seen and we are still in chains? This person wrote, "Just going to leave this here. For the record, I'm all for celebration of black man joy, but I wish this united effort could have been used to propel a cause forward after all this was MLK Day weekend. But I'm not here to bash black men, just offering a different perspective." This person wrote, "It isn't about black men feeling happy in suits. Everyone's tired of seeing this demographic parade around while their communities are in shambles and they cost us, the United States economy, $50 billion. They remind me of the Congo dandies. Next comment, I love the unity, but was this an event? What happened after the fist up high? Is this a movement? Is there more to come? I'm lost. Can somebody explain what type of brunch this is? Another person wrote, this is making me cringe. I can't be the only one. Next comment. Great job, fellas. A bunch of positive people in one spot. We need more of that. The response, positive people doing what? We need more people doing stuff in our communities, not flexing for social media. Next comment. The problem I have with this is I know it's all for the gram. I know 3 people in this video, and they told me they went and talked about fashion. No business, no community building, or no nothing. I have no problem with it still, but let's not call this revolutionary. Next comment. Where's a suit as they solve nothing and lead a community nowhere? Next comment. Don't y'all get tired of this performative mess? Would be nice if they were willing to be this coordinated when it comes to their communities. Next. Am I supposed to thank them for doing the bare minimum? It's not hating, but what did they do? What did they solve? What did they help? Our communities don't need little patty cake parties. They need ish done. And the black woman is too heavily relied upon for that. Give them a break. What do these even do? Do they just say, let's dress up in suits, then go home after filming or something? Reply, are they wearing black designers? Are they on the way to volunteer for the homeless or troubled youths? What is all these suits and fists in the air and all the violence still in the inner city? Hate to see it. Man, y'all know this corny. Quit playing like the hate is unwarranted. What other group of people do this ish? Hold up, let me get a shot of everybody with a fist in the air. 3, 2, 1. Come on now. Now, like I've seen in a lot of the other videos I do normally when I show people's tweets, some people ask, oh, why do you block out the names? Well, nobody has money for Seiji, just in case people decide that they want to go on Twitter and start trying to harass people because of the opinion or the comments they decided to leave. Number 2, other people like to state, oh, a lot of these are just, troll accounts and yada, yada, yada. Well, you can say that, but we can't also disregard the fact that there's a lot of hate within the black community. There's a lot of colorism within the black community. There's a lot of jealousy as well in the black community. And when you culminate all of that on top of the history and the self versus self, you'll understand that, yeah, you could say, that there are some trolls in there. But how many out of 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 are you really going to consider trolls? If you can literally see this type of talk from black people within your family, from friends, from coworkers, from people on television shows, from things that are, being depicted, right, by way of the television, things that have been written about in books, in blogs, YouTube videos, Twitter, and everything else, or even things that you can go outside and see for yourself in the street. How many times are we going to sit up there and say that things are trolls versus actually accepting the truth that the black community is pretty much jacked up and it needs a lot of repair, healing, and fixing, and it needs a lot of leadership to take place? But within that, speaking of leadership, one of the main comments that I had up there was that of a guy, right, who used the terminology cis, right, and he wanted to state that the community is basically everybody, and it's not just starting with black men, right? That's a person that's trying to say that, oh, black men are not the leaders, everybody's the leader, and all this other type of nonsense. Like I tell people before, everybody has a role, right? And everybody has a designated line to sit in life. To try to make everything a gray area is a very dangerous thing. It is a very dangerous thing. And then you had a lot of the other overwhelming comments where people were just trying to state, oh, well, they're not really doing nothing. They're just dressing up. Were they being trying to be militant? Were they trying to be revolutionaries? What were they trying to, have take place? What was the plan behind this? Black people are literally the only groups of people where if black men are out there doing something positive, we have to be realistically doing something more. We have to be, repairing the world. We have to be building the world. We have to be sending people to other galaxies. We got to be trying to quantify, this reality and another reality. We got to be trying to, bring up theories of like the multiverse and like people literally want black men to be doing the utmost. Like, never sit up there and actually have fun with anything. Don't come together with other black men unless it's to actually build. If you're going to come together with other black men, it has to be for that purpose. If it's not for that purpose, it's no reason for y'all to come together. There's no reason for a photo op. It's no reason for y'all to have y'all sons there, within that same positive type of energy, because at the end of the day, none of y'all are doing anything. Do you understand how illogical that way of thinking is? And then on top of that, a lot of the people that's complaining ain't really doing that. A lot of the people that's talking about, oh, this is a wasted opportunity, and oh, what about the crime here? What about the abandoned teens here? What about the homeless? If you realistically cared about any of the issues that you're talking about, you would be the main one going out there to the forefront, grassroots style, guerrilla tactics, going door to door to start up an organization. But like I said before, those that do will, and those that can't will just sit on Twitter and social media and leave comments. Like I said, none of these people complaining are realistically doing anything important in life. And I'm just going to be real. Because if they were doing something important in life, they would be literally focused on that and giving all of their energy to that and not sparing any energy to anything else that has nothing to do with what they're trying to build. That lets you know if people are actually doing what they're saying in life versus just talking. If they got enough free time to leave comments on social media, they're not doing the stuff that they're supposed to be doing, and they're not spending enough time sitting up there building themselves and getting themselves to that point of success where they just have generational wealth and all these other things transpiring and going on. Like I said, these are a lot of people that have nothing going on in life. They're unhappy, right, with their present position in life, and because of that, they don't want to see anybody else doing anything positive or anything respectful. All of those black men were being the utmost respectful to each other. They were showing the utmost positivity towards each other. They even had their sons there to also relish and be a part of all of that energy, so that that message will carry with them in the future, so that they know that black men are not the enemy of black men. And it's like, it's crazy that black people in the comment section didn't even get that. They were like, nah, all these black men, they supposed to be warriors. They supposed to be up there stomping. They supposed to be, flipping the world upside down. They supposed to be, really doing something. But I'm like, it's a lot of men also in that comment section that's critiquing these men. And these men are out here doing something, putting out a positive image, while you're sitting up here chit-chatting like an old Betty directly in the comment section. What we doing? But then these will be a lot of the guys that want to walk around trying to talk about, oh, I'm out for this, I'm out for that. That's not alpha type of behavior if all you sitting up here doing is being worried about and focusing on something positive that black men are doing. Why don't you, being the alpha that you are, right? Why don't you be focused on the negative stuff that some of these other black men are doing? Why don't you try to change their minds, propel them, try to put them in a whole different direction, instead of trying to tear them down and saying what they should be doing? If you feel like they should be doing that, if you feel like they are missing the mark, how about you be the man that you're supposed to be, and you sit up there and be the leader that you're supposed to be, and you go out there and feed the homeless. You go out there and fix the community. You go out there and build whatever you say that needs to be built. Like I said, a lot of this, the conversation in these comments is crazy. And this is exactly why we got a crab in the barrel mentality. This is exactly why black people are stagnant. This is exactly why the black community is in the disrepair and in the broken state that it is currently in, because you got a lot of black people that are just all talk and not willing to actually get their hands dirty and get some scrapes and bruises on their arms, doing some hard work. Because like I said, and I told y'all before, a lot of black people feel like the problems in the black community ain't their problem because they're individuals. They don't got nothing to do with that. They're not doing this. They're not doing that because they weren't a part of those situations. So why should I have to sit up there and fix somebody else's problem or somebody else's situation? I got my own family to deal with. I got this. I got that. I. But magically, when you want to critique, magically it's a we moment. Magically, we all in this together. It's a we community thing. We as black people. Like I said, black people are backwards. Black people don't know what they want. Black people don't know what they talking about. And black people don't know where they going. In these comments, even though it's just a small amount, I could have got more. I could have spent 3 to 4 hours making like a 2-hour video on these comments. But I'm like, this is just enough because it showcases what I've been sitting up there talking about with the black community and how there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, and how on top of that, roughly like everybody else sit up there and say, 2/3 of us ain't gonna make it. And a lot of those people in that comment section trying to get on these black men doing something positive and trying to put out a positive image and representation of black men after 30 plus something years of negative imagery such as gangster rap, gangster culture, prison culture, jail culture, drug culture. After all of that has been spun around for so long, the one time that we got a group of black men doing something positive, people in the black community want to sit up there and condemn them and saying that they should be doing more. But yet the same people condemning them ain't doing more for themselves, let alone the community, let alone their friends and their families. Whatever, dog. Like I said, y'all, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then last but not least, we also had somebody in there trying to bring up black women for like no reason. And I'm like, what in the world does these black men doing something positive have anything to do with black women? Black women are not even a part of this conversation. This is what I be talking about, where you have a lot of individuals out here who don't got a leg to stand on in the conversation. So they hurry up and just like write a little bit of something, but then they get to their real point, which is to detract from the main conversation and try to push it over to black women. I'm like, that they have nothing to do with this. They have zero to do with this. This is black men in their glory, in their righteousness, sitting up here being respectful and doing what it is that they do right now. Like I said, that was a beautiful image to sit up there and see. Nothing but brothers there being positive and respectful. Nobody was fighting. Nobody was cussing each other out. Nobody was trying to backstab anybody. Nobody was trying to steal from one another. Nobody was trying to lie. Nobody was trying to conspire on somebody. Like, it was nothing but positive vibes and energy there. And yet this was negative. Why? Because of black people. Wasn't nobody else in the comment section from a whole different culture. It wasn't white people. It wasn't nobody else from no other culture. It was solely black people doing this. Craziness. Craziness. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.
Here comes a new challenger!
Like I said before, I don't really have an issue with, who black people decide to date. I just have an issue when black people want to come back and try to act like everything that they got now is just so much better, and that all this other type of stuff, you technically want to come down on, your own people because of your preference and everything else. Like I said, if it is what it is at the end of the day, then, that's cool. Go sit up there and go do you. The only thing that the black community ever states is that don't come back here trying to show off what you got and, trying to throw it in people's faces if, you're really sitting up out here doing something, right? Like I said, I don't know.